I mean, that's what science and discovery is about in a way. It's looking in, looking at smaller things. It's looking at stepping back, looking at the universe, and it does give you a great perspective on life as well. And so I'd always just pursued science as the direction I wanted to go. But then after college, I had some friends who started an arts newspaper in Chicago, and they asked me to start writing for it, and they wanted me to write about science. And I thought that was strange. Who wants to hear about science? But it turns out everyone loved it. It takes a lot to educate yourself enough to be able to write about science for a popular audience. I mean, it's almost a job of translation, because you have to really dig deep into some of those scientific papers, and you have to actually understand what they're saying, which is not easy. So oftentimes I had to pick up the phone and I would call, the scientist who authored the study and get him to sort of explain and sometimes re-explain, the concept of the study to me. And once I finally understood, then, I could explain it in layman's terms. And hopefully capture the public's interest. I love everything about science and nature. There are certain topics that are harder to write about than others, like environmental topics, species conservation, because there's a lot of politics. But also physics is really tough to write about, because it's tough to understand, It is rocket science, literally. So inherently, I guess I believe in following the evidence. So I don't know if that you would call that a bias, or if you would just call that rational thinking, but I do think that it's important to interpret the evidence in a very fair way. And I guess I do try to shy away from political discussions. I love to write. I feel like I'm in my element when I'm sitting down, writing, editing. I feel like the language is, making the language come out like I want it to is really, one of the big joys in my life.